It's finally Mushoku Tensei Sundays and I am so happy to see another episode again. I haven't had this much excitement with an ongoing anime since Overlord 4 and Mushoku Tensei Season 1. I'll just say, I have only read volumes 1 to 6 of the light novels, so there will be no spoilers for anything else going forward in the video. We are back in the Hogwarts of Mushoku Tensei, and Rudeus looks to be back in the workout game. It's also really cute to see Sylphie jogging in that newsboy cap outfit. On a slightly less cute note, we have Ellen Elise being, well, Ellen Elise. She is walking on thin ice with her new Shotokan interest. But hey, in that world, 15 is the age of adulthood, so Rudeus is doing his thing with studying and researching, still the same as in the last episode. However, he has still not gotten over his unfettered Shogun of the Night, or whatever that is. So some things still haven't changed. The opening really surprised me this season. I was skeptical of the OP song Spiral they introduced in the PV trailer and was worried that there would be generic anime openings and songs for this season. But this OP and song are still really good. The harmony and emotions you feel from the song and the sequence get me in the feels. Obviously, the three sparrows are meant to represent the main female characters in the story: Eris, Sylphie, and Roxy. In these troubling times when Rudeus cannot grasp his feelings, the girl who is the most important one to him at this time could be anyone. But it is most likely Sylphie this time because she is the focal point of the timeline now. It's like a game of who can fix Rudeus' ED first. Sylphie, or should I say Fitz, joining Rudeus in his research sessions is a nice development. It's funny how a former otaku such as himself, who is most likely well informed about dense protagonists, becomes one himself. This is where the character development in this show shines because Rudeus is slowly starting to establish his own self in his second life. The results are apparent in this case because his inner self is also changing. Also, Rudeus is definitely into femboys now. I mean, it's hard not to when they look like this. In all seriousness though, Rudeus' past self never really had a real connection with anyone, so it's understandable why it's hard for him to open himself up to new relationships in this second life, especially after what happened with Eris. It's like this trauma and depression that lingers in him is preventing him from seeing who Fitz really is. It's so bad that it doesn't matter if Fitz is a boy. His heart races when he is near Fitz, so why would he care if he is a male? He is just seeking for a bond with someone. At the moment, however, Rudeus also has other matters to attend to. His persistent disciple Zanoba and his frankly unnerving obsession with figurines is something Rudeus has to deal with. As he finds his motivation, we see a curious-looking figurine he constructed in his hands. Rudeus actually made a female figurine version of himself. However, there is more here that meets the eye. You can see where he takes a lot of inspiration from. Besides the cowlick that is custom to himself and the part-away bangs his hairstyle has, it seems like he took Roxy's eyes as reference. The droopy eyes and soft expression the figurine has is almost uncanny. And of course, the outfit is the adventure cloak he used in his old party. You could also say that he got the long hair inspiration from Eris, but I feel like a more defining feature of the hair on the figurine is the strands that stick out on both sides. Eris does have these distinguishable features as well. The one he gave Sylphie and Eris is also a nice touch. Seeing Zanoba's antics and how Rudeus deals with them is fun. I can see Zanoba being a key character and friend for Rudeus for a long time. After Rudeus learns of his disciple's weaknesses, he consults Mr. Fitz for advice. Finally, Rudeus and Sylphie have an outing together. Well, not that Rudeus knows it's Sylphie or the countless signs she has been giving him, but this will do for now. Zanoba is really being tailored by Rudeus, and I can see this being a good thing. During their outing at the slave market, we see Fitz surprised at the sheer size of one of the male slaves. Rudeus, of course, chalks it up as virgin talk. Remember, he still thinks Fitz is a boy, so it's weird how Rudeus never thought, why is he so surprised to see a male's genital? Doesn't he look at his own all the time?
You stupid!
The dense Protag syndrome is really getting to him. As they find a dexterous slave who can handle the requirements needed by Zanoba, they walk towards the area they are keeping our new character. I can imagine seeing people getting angry over the fact that Rudeus does not express any thoughts on slavery as a whole in this world, but it makes sense when you are put in his shoes. It's not that he feels nothing for the slaves. He has no power to overturn a market that is a core component of this world's economy. Also, Rudeus does not feel like he has any right to intervene in the system and situation the slaves are in. He actually expressed these thoughts when discussing Julie's situation. Rudeus speaking her language was almost a shock to me. It's been a while in the story's timeline since we've seen Rudeus speaking a different language from the common tongue of the human continent. I almost forgot how intelligent he really is. This season of Mushoku Tensei has introduced us to many new characters, and so far, I have enjoyed every single one. But I can particularly feel that Julie will be a favorite character among many people. It hits a little hard when she said she didn't want to die. It really brings forth the realism in this show. Characters are their own being. Even someone who has been put through much suffering like Julie does not want to give up on life. Rudeus is almost unrecognizable with the amount of maturity and weight his words carry. He really has been through a lot. I thought it was very interesting to learn how dwarves name their children. They are not named until they are 7, and are given titles of their parents' name and origin instead. Zanoba seems to be showing signs of change as well. It is revealed here that he accidentally killed his baby brother because he could not control his strength. He is usually portrayed as a character who cares about nothing but his master and figurines, but maybe he's starting to have a change of heart. Though it's kind of funny to see him completely fine naming someone after a family member he killed. Other than this, the episode ends with Julie transitioning into her new life. Rudeus and Zanoba have their own little helper. The ED is really nice as well. The music from Yuko Ohara, I'm sorry if I butchered that name again, is a staple in the Mushoku Tensei franchise. And man, does she kill it with all her songs. It's like how Masayuki Suzuki is to the Kaguya-sama Love is War franchise. It's also very bizarre to see how much Sylphie and Rudeus grew. It felt like yesterday when I watched them during their childhood in the last season. I anxiously await Rudeus to finally realize who Fitz really is and see how their relationship changes from there. Overall, this episode was a nice transition to what seems to be a very important next episode. It seems to be titled The Kidnapping and Confinement of Beast Girls, but sub-translations can differ. I'm guessing it has something to do with Persona and Linea. But that's all from me, and thank you for watching. Make sure to check out my Twitter and music playlist down below. Also, femboy fits over female Sylphie all the way.